Hi, Dr. Mark here for Natural Health. Hope you're having a great day. Again, welcome to our health shop, the last one in February. This month we're talking about heart issues, and tonight we're talking about heart issues and repair, how to help the heart to strengthen itself and repair itself, which is something you don't hear in mainstream because they don't think the heart can repair itself. But actually the heart's fairly easy. It's just a big muscle, so it can repair some things there. A couple of housekeeping issues that again, we're coming up on our 40th anniversary here on March 15th in March. So we're having a lot of little drawings and fun things at the office. So if you want to come by, say hi, we'd love to see you. And during the week of the 15th, we'll have some taste testing going on. So we'll have all kind of fun that week. But I mean, it's been 40 years already. But yes, doing chiropractic and nutrition for 40 years already. A lot of water under the bridge kind of thing going on. So a lot of experience with things, and we're still learning, especially this last year and a half, 2 years, quite a different experience there. We're going to talk about some of the problems with that. So we'll get into what we're talking about here tonight. Again, we're talking about the heart and repair of the heart. So just to realize that the heart, most of the heart is just a big muscle. So muscles are fairly easy to repair. And then you have the valves between the different chambers going on in there. They have to be in a certain relationship to work correctly, and we'll talk about how that gets to be a problem. The other part of the heart is, of course, the arteries and veins that come in, and they have to work a certain way too. They have to be healthy for those systems to work correctly, and we'll talk about some of that. So a couple things I'm going to talk about here tonight. We'll look at some of the old information about cholesterol, and then some of the new problems we're having with this COVID thing, whatever we want to call it. So we'll talk about that a little bit here to start with. You've heard of some of the problems with that, in that the pericarditis or myocarditis. Myocarditis just means the muscle of the heart inflammation, which if you inflame this muscle, it can be pretty dramatic and tragic. And pericarditis is the sac that goes around the heart. And if that gets inflamed or swollen, well, we have problems there too. And this is some of the clotting issues coming from this jab business going on. So it's kind of a new problem. Pericarditis and myocarditis have been around forever, but not nearly in the amounts that we're seeing now. So I thought I'd talk about that tonight and try not to get too much trouble. So again, the pericardium is the membrane enclosing the layer and an inner double layer of serous membrane. So again, it's a pretty separated from the lungs and some of the infections and things that go on there, but it have its own thing going on. So when you do things that inflame these tissues, either the pericardium or the myocardium, the muscle of the heart, which that's all that word means, and pericardium means around the heart, itis means inflammation, so that's just what that means. So we've got some problems, and so we're trying to work on protocols here at the office to help those folks that have gotten this jab business, because nobody even knows what it is yet. It's all experimental. Nobody has any idea what's going on with this stuff, other than we're seeing the problems here in our office. We're seeing people come in with symptoms from that. So we're trying to handle it in the ways that we know how to do that, and so far I've been pretty successful with it, but I think we're going to have a lot more problems with it as time goes on. But we'll see. Again, nobody knows. It's all experimental. So it's something that we're seeing as a new problem in the office, and we hope that we can help patients with that too. And again, even all the other problems that people have with heart issues. So we'll go into some old problems. I'm going to go back to this drawing of the heart, where people that have blood pressure issues, for whatever reason, whether the blood vessels are contracting from problems, or that the heart is working too hard, they're put on medication, and medication forces the heart to relax, forces it not to work, so the blood pressure number comes down. That makes everybody happy. The blood pressure number is down. Of course, we don't want the blood pressure to be so high that you cause a stroke or whatever else going on there. But just giving medication for that is not helping the underlying cause. So when people are on long-term blood pressure medication, and I'm talking, many people have been on it for years, even decades. Well, it makes the heart muscle get so weak that it enlarges the heart. And you've probably heard of an enlarged heart. Most every older person who's been on medication has an enlarged heart. Well, then the heart muscle just gets really weak and flaccid, and it doesn't work well. And so, because it's been suppressed for so long, I'm talking, like I said, years, decades sometimes, that even the valves then are misshapen. They're not going to work like valves work. So then they have to talk about valve replacement and all this stuff. That if they would just have fixed the problem in the first place and worked on the reason why the problem was there, they could have stopped all that. But that's not how it is right now in mainstream. And that takes us to our next problem, which is cholesterol. Now, the cholesterol issue started back with, heart attacks had been around, but President Eisenhower had a severe heart attack when he was in office, and so they had to automatically get all crazed up about it. And so there's a Dr. Ansel Keys, who was a bigwig in the AMA and all that power struggle there, and he decided that it should be cholesterol as the problem, and the cholesterol was the reason why they had the heart attack. Well, the too simplistic look at this is that when you have a person who goes in for open heart surgery and they open up all these arteries, yeah, there's cholesterol there, but why is the cholesterol there? That question is never asked, and it's there because of all the sugar people eat and all the insulin that causes the blood vessels to crack. And that's why the body puts the cholesterol in there so you don't damage or you don't bleed to death. And if it's there long enough, the body plaques that up with fibrin tissue or fibrous tissue that makes the plaque. Then, if people just keep doing it over and over and over, well, a piece of that plaque breaks off and you have a stroke or a heart attack or embolism in the lungs. So that's why that gets there. But we've been told to believe that it's cholesterol and that eggs are the problem. And many people still think that they can't have eggs or butter or saturated fats and blah, blah, blah. That's still heard everywhere. And what happens when you have a cholesterol number that's higher than what they want at 200? Well, now you're on statin drugs. What do statin drugs do? Well, they stop the liver from producing cholesterol. Why is the liver producing cholesterol? Why is it doing that? Well, because there's inflammation in the body. That's why the body's doing it on purpose. And just stopping the liver from producing cholesterol is like almost insane, but it's done all the time. And so people are having a lot more heart attacks. What's the number one cause of mortality in this country? Heart disease. So, it's because of all these rabbit holes that we've been down for so long, they can't even think of ways to get back up. They can't even think of other things now. It's all geared into this cholesterol treatment and blood pressure drug treatment. And it's just causing all kinds of problems. So, of course, the answer to them for mainstream medicine is just more and more medications. Yeah, I'm not an anti-medication person. I mean, if people have problems, they're having high blood pressure, and you're going to stroke, by all means, use blood pressure medication. Get the blood pressure down right then. But then find out what the cause of the problem is. Don't just keep doing more and more and more medication. I have people come in, they're on 3, 4, 5 blood pressure medications. You're not helping the cause at all. Of course, you're making the problem a lot worse over time. And of course, these people they're tired, wore out, have no energy, all kind of problems because you're on all this medication. So anyway, as you can tell, there are ways of helping that. And we'll go back to the heart picture here. If you just get rid of these barriers, the reasons why the problems are there, and you feed the heart correctly, it will straighten up. But again, you have to get away from the causes of the problem, and that's mostly refined flour and refined sugar. And if you get into the history of how this works, then this was all as more refined sugar and refined flour was brought into the picture, people had more heart disease. Another side of this too is that the bad oils, or the seed oils, were brought into our diets about the same time as the sugars. So the two big problems in our diet are refined flour, refined sugar, which is just refined carbohydrates, and then bad oils are trans fats and all those kind of bad oils that they're not really food oils, they are machine oil. You take linseed oil that's manufactured, that's a machine oil. It's never what's meant to be in the body. Same way as refined sugar, never was meant to be used in the body. Now we can get by with it, of course, but it's not meant to be in there. So anyway, I think that's probably enough trouble causing for me tonight, and I just want people to realize that medication should only be used short term. You need to find out what the cause of the problem is so that long term you actually have true health. Now, another thing that this pandemic business has shown us is that many people in the United States do not have an immune system or have a very weak one. And so this is the same thinking. We don't want to do any preventative things with the immune system. We just want to wait till we have a problem and then have the white coat treat it. Well, that's not working very well, is it? So we have to really start looking at what is health and what is true health, not just lack of symptoms. So anyway, enough preaching. Don't forget that we have our 40th anniversary coming up on the 15th of March. Please come by and help us celebrate that. We do have free consultations available, so that if you want to come by and find out what we do here, we're happy to do that and just talk about things. And then on our website at www.naturalhealthquincy.com, that has videos on there about nutrition response testing, the chiropractic work that we do here, different things. You can kind of see what we're doing here. It's not voodoo, not magic, nothing weird, just things that actually work for health. A lot of success stories to talk about there. So I think that's enough for me tonight. I'm going to go over and let Dr. Chip take over with more exciting information. And have a great rest of February. We'll see you in March, and hopefully it'll warm up. Dr. Chip, take it.
All right, thank you. So a lot of good information there. So we'll keep going on with the discussion. Now I'm going to go ahead and go back a little bit here. I kind of was in charge of putting some of the slides up here, and so Dr. Mark explained about the sugar and how it causes cholesterol to be made in the body to help repair the tissues, the lining. Again, if we're overindulging in this, then we can cause issues, which again, that's why that cholesterol is there, to help the body to repair itself. Now the eggs, we had this whole craze about, oh no, don't eat the egg yolks, or don't eat the egg whites, or keep them separate, or don't eat them together. But this is a whole food. This is a whole protein, this is a natural food found in nature. So again, many times when it's found in nature, it's usually better. Now again, yolk, it's kind of more this cholesterol here too. That's the fat part. And a lot of times is that people get so scared about the word cholesterol. But if you thought about your brain or the tissues in your body, the brain is, a majority of it is cholesterol. And so the reason why that is because cholesterol is needed for the functioning of our body. The nervous system, again, the nerves going along all the systems of the body, but the actual signals, when a nerve it says it's enclosed and it's got myelination, but it's kind of more of a fatty tissue that helps to transport the signals from the brain to the body. So again, cholesterol is needed for that aspect, and that's why eggs are a good source of that. Now, this is more of, again, in moderation, but if you get too much of this, then like Dr. Mark explained, is that the body has to, you say, it's kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul. And then it'll kind of take its resources from itself, and then it'll start using its own cholesterol to help repair those tissues. So again, kind of going back to that, but just want to clarify. Okay, so like Dr. Mark explained, is that a lot of people kind of got into this whole craze about having heart issues. Again, you would say is that the United States now has, the average American, 6 out of 10 have some kind of chronic health issue, 4 out of 10 have two or more. And the reason why I bring that up is that heart illness or heart issues is one of the top 2 causes of illness in the U.S. And when we have the best technology in the world, you have to kind of, you would say, ask questions of saying, why is this so? What is going on here? Are we being misdirected? Are we being misguided? And again, I'm not saying that the mainstream medicine has it wrong. I'm saying is that and when it regards to health and a healthy system, a healthy body, we can see is that something is failing, something is lacking. And so again, Albert Einstein once said, he'd say, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. And so we've been doing this over and over. We've been trying to figure out what the problem is. We've been attacking the issues of the body. We've been cleaning out the heart, and we think that the cholesterol is the problem, but again, like Dr. Mark explained, is that why is the cholesterol there? What is going on in the body to say that? Now we'll kind of discuss again more and more about why. Now, of course, the heart is, like Dr. Mark explained, a good muscle, a powerful muscle. It is very amazing at what it does, that we kind of lose appreciation for it. The heart is an amazing organ. It pumps, a ton of gallons throughout the day. It's responsible for supporting or transporting all the blood in your body to all the trillions of cells in your body. And so you could kind of say is that when we're not giving that the right supply, or we're not helping ourselves or helping our bodies to feed it properly, then our heart suffers. Now you could say is that you would say the heart of a team, football team, or a sports team, part of a community, heart of a business. When you're not feeding those employees, those workers properly, they will eventually not function properly. The business will go out and everything there too. So the heart, again, pumping all the blood to all the cells being the worker of the body, if that's not regulating properly, and of course you can see is that our bodies will not be able to sustain efficient systems, and it will start to deplete. And you can see like energy, health issues, symptoms, pain. That's just more of an unbalancing body. And so when you get back to proper balance and proper restoration, you can see is that our heart and bodies are able to function properly. Now again, what are the causes of these issues? Again, like we explained, is that there's a cholesterol there, and we think that cholesterol is the bad guy, but just like a fire truck getting to the scene of a fire, you wouldn't blame the fire truck for causing the fire. You would ask, how did the fire get to there in the first place? So again, these are the causes of the issues that go on throughout the body that can affect health. Now you can see is that nutrition and chemical are different things here. So sometimes when we're not getting ample or appropriate nutrition or food, we're not getting the good necessary building blocks for our bodies, and that can be a factor. Or if we're getting overloaded with chemicals, again, chemicals in the environment, it could be foods, it could be too much of something such as sugar, or too much other fats and oils that could be hazardous or cause bad issues there too. But it can be environmental toxins, again, if you're breathing in, or say, you got in touch with some bleach or anything like that. Again, a lot of those different things can cause issues in the body. And when our bodies are not able to adapt to that environmental stimulus too much, then again, it's going to be depleted to a point where you're going to start showing signs and symptoms and pain in the body there too. Now physical is another character trait there too, that if we're not moving our bodies sufficiently, again, if we're kind of sitting too much of the time, if we're not, again, walking throughout the day, it could be a lot of different things, but again, just some physical activity can help the body to transport the blood, to get the tissues to warm up. That's all very important. Now again, I can go the other side, is that if we're doing too much work, too much exercise, we're over-exhausting our bodies, that can start to deplete the systems there too. So again, it's kind of that balance of both, being able to do a lot of work, but then recover at the same time. And then mental emotional, again, there's different aspects there too that can cause issues. So you could say is that somebody that, say like you found out on the news that there was this pandemic or this something going on, and that it's very scary. It's a very scary time for a lot of people. But when we get constantly stuck in this state, we're not able to kind of reason out, figure out what's going on. Again, just like when somebody's worried about a big speech that they have to do, or college students or students that have to worry about a test. Well, if they were always stuck in that worry all the time, even after the test, if they were wondering what grade they were going to get, and it just kind of escalates there too. If we're stuck in that state of, say, worry or frustration or anything like that, that can cause havoc on the body. That can cause a disruption of our systems there too. And so again, it's kind of more of balancing all these up there that will help the body to heal more efficiently. And again, of course, help the heart to repair itself. Now, again, like Dr. Mark said there too, is that many people believe that our bodies are just fragile, weak, and we're just kind of not able to support itself, that it's not healing. But again, that would be totally contradictory to just getting a cut on your hand. A cut kind of heals on its own. You don't really do anything for it, and it naturally does its thing. Again, why? Why does it do that? Well, you would say is that there's something that's powering the heart. There's some kind of force or some kind of intelligence that's keeping the heart alive, that's beating the heart. Again, keeping all the cells of your body to function properly. And so when we kind of see it that way, we can say is that the body is very intelligent and very smart. And so a lot of times it's not what we're needing to do that can help ourselves, but what we don't need to do. And we kind of go back to these causes there too, is that, again, if we're doing too much of the stuff that we don't need to do, then again, that can be taxing on the body. Or we're limiting this intelligence to help us to heal properly. So again, a lot of different factors, like we said, it can cause those issues. But a lot of times, if we're able to balance out the body well with the right nutrition, the right movement, good attitude, that whole balance there can help the body to heal appropriately and get that heart back to proper order. And so that's kind of about it for me. Just again, kind of going back to when we are able to help our heart repair itself, to help our bodies to feel good, function well, again, we are able to enjoy life more. And again, health is the commodity that we don't really kind of take for granted, that, again, you can have all the money in the world, but if you're sick and you can't do anything, then, again, you're not going to be able to enjoy it. So, again, getting back to good health overall, and then, again, a healthy heart for this heart month for February. So, I think that's it for me. So, again, you can always follow us at Natural Health Quincy IL at Facebook, YouTube, Brighteon, and Instagram. Like Dr. Mark explained, you can go to naturalhealthquincy.com to subscribe to our email list to get more information. We have a lot more information about what we do in the office, about our chiropractic work, about what kind of technique I use. Dr. Mark kind of using more of a nutritional-based technique there too to help the body. And then again, we're located at 2000 Jefferson Street in Quincy, Illinois. The number is 217-228-2040. So again, thank you so much for watching, and that finishes off the Heart Month for February. Thanks again.
You pay for being an IT guy too?
Yeah, no.